would love it if you two could take him out. Take him out.
Take him out? Like for drinks?
No. Take him out.
Take out? Like to dinner? Take him out to a meal?
Take him out.
Like on the town? Party?
No, take him out.
You want us to assassinate the leader of North Korea?
Yes.
On November 24th, Sony was attacked by Guardians of Peace for undisclosed reasons. Although many suspected North Korea being behind the cyber attack, it can be found reasonable that North Korea would not be a big fan of a movie which surrounds the idea of the CIA attempting to assassinate their leader, Kim Jong-un. Although this is unproven, on that same day, all Sony employees were presented with a disturbing message on their computer screen.
Sony pictures had been hijacked, and the news came out kind of weird. I first became aware of it because of a Reddit post. Someone claiming to be an ex-Sony employee said that a Sony employee contacted him and said that Sony Pictures had sent all their employees home. And it was because a lot of the computers in their network got this pop-up message coming from GOP, which stands for Guardians of Peace, basically saying, Sony, we've hacked you, and if you don't do something for us, which you'll know soon, we're going to disclose all kinds of details about you. And of course, that wallpaper also had a deadline saying if you don't do something by this date, we will start disclosing materials and stuff. And we still don't really know what the supposed ransom or extortion to Sony is. In any case, that deadline passed, and at first it was a little quiet. We didn't know what happened. But over the Thanksgiving weekend, one interesting thing that happened is a lot of Sony movies, Sony Pictures movies, came out at all the usual pirate repositories.
They promised that by November 27th, they were going to unveil Sony's current unreleased movies, Annie, Mr. Turner, Still Alice, and To Write Love on Her Arms. Apparently, they just casually strolled in and stole the IT admin's password. This one password gave GOP access to open up other files, with the most notable ones holding passwords to Oracle and SQL databases. GOP acquired this information by infecting Sony's computers with a wiper malware. The wiper malware used an executable dropper called Destover. Destover uses Windows' own management file sharing system to shut down the network services and reboot the computers. Sony was clued in that GOP now had over a dozen terabytes of their data, which included current and former employees' personal information, like 47,426 social security numbers, the whereabouts of where they reside, and their email addresses. GOP programmed the wiper malware to go through Sony's network to essentially blow up Sony's hard drive, making it unusual. GOP didn't just attack Sony. GOP took it to the next level by threatening us by saying, "The world will be full of fear. Remember the 11th of September 2001. They said this to convince us to not go into any theater to see the interview. With Sony knowing that they are in the middle of a crisis and are losing millions of dollars, they fired up a DOS attack to try to stop more people from downloading their movies. The also graphic was called the Screen of Death because it was going to delete all of Sony's corporate files. At this point, Sony didn't know what to do, so they called in a third party for help. Sony hired FireEye to try to fix their situation or mitigate it in any way. FireEye said it's too late because they weren't notified early enough. 3,000 Sony licensed computers as well as 800 Sony servers died. If Sony had better security, maybe their network and their database systems would not be vulnerable. We suggest that Sony in the future try to use something like two-factor authentication for employees with access to such files, as well as limiting who has access to certain files."
Now they're saying that they're going to release it on video on demand, as well as in select independent theaters, including the Alamo Drafthouse here in Austin. We're trying to get tickets to that. Chairman and CEO of Sony Entertainment says, "We've never given up on releasing the interview." The chairman and CEO of Sony Entertainment says, "We have never given up on releasing the interview, and we're excited our movie will be in a number of theaters on Christmas Day.